There is a novel writing framework that breaks down best-selling novels in 5 specific parts. And when you do, you find the same mysterious shape hidden at the exact same spot every single time. And without it, your story will lose focus halfway through, your middle will sag no matter what you do, and by the time that you reach your final act, your readers just won't care anymore. This mysterious shape best-selling authors use to hook readers all the way through is called the Major Fixation Triangle. In this video, I'll show you exactly what it is and how to build one for your own novel. By the way, if you're new here, hello, my name is Julian. I'm the creator of the Story Pillars Method, a storytelling framework reverse engineered from best-selling novels to help you write a first draft that's not gonna need countless rounds of revision. I've been sharing the method and this channel for a little bit over a year now, and the response has been amazing. And if you want to work together on your novel for the next few months, I also run a mentorship program, so if you're ever interested, the link is in the description. With all that said, let's get into the video. Right, so in order to understand what a major fixation triangle is, you first need to understand what the heck is a major fixation. You see, in most best-selling novels, the protagonist doesn't have just one goal. If you pay close attention, you'll notice that in reality, there are 2 sorts of goal at play, and each has its own specific purpose. These are called the minor and major fixations. The minor fixation is the one goal that results from answering the call to adventure. In the Hunger Games, Katniss' minor fixation is to survive the games, while in Harry Potter, it is to belong in this new magical world, and more specifically, to win the House Cup. But if your protagonist only has that one goal, that one fixation, you'd be fulfilling the promise of your book rather early and eventually lose momentum, which means most of your readers will DNF and never get to the end. And that's where the major fixation comes into play. It is the one fixation that spins the wheel one more time after the novelty of the minor fixation wears off and hooks your readers all the way to the end. In the Hunger Games, that major fixation is to outwit the Capitol and take down a totalitarian regime. In Harry Potter, the major fixation is to get to the Philosopher's Stone and defeat Voldemort. You see, the minor fixation is the reason readers picked your book, and the major fixation is the reason they will forever remember it. So if you already know your minor and major fixation, please do let me know in the comments. Now, the problem is that the major fixation, if not set up properly, can feel sudden to your reader or a little bit random. The major fixation triangle is that mechanism that will help you introduce and build that major fixation in a progressive manner so that it feels inevitable rather than bolted on. So let me show you how to build this major fixation triangle for your own novel, and I'll give you examples along the way to make it as concrete as possible. But of course, seeing how it works in best-selling novels is one thing. Knowing that you've built it correctly in your own story before you've written 80,000 words that will probably take months if not years to revise is another. So if after this video you want my direct help with that, there'll be a link in the description. The goal of the major fixation triangle is to bring your protagonist to a moment where the true scale of what's at stake become impossible to ignore. So in order to do that, your novel needs a scene where your protagonist has what is called a major fixation epiphany. This is pretty much the end point of the triangle, the moment your protagonist finally understands the full picture. And it's what catapults them into the final act of your story. In Harry Potter, it's the moment Harry realizes that it is not Snape who's after the Philosopher's Stone, but Voldemort. And if Voldemort gets his hands on it, the darkest force in the entire wizarding world will be back once and for all. In the Hunger Games, it's the moment Katniss takes the time to cover another tribute's body, Ruse, with flour. And in doing so, something crystallizes. The districts don't have to accept the Capitol's cruelty. From that specific point on, Katniss will no longer play by the rules. She stands up, looks at the camera, and raises the 3-finger salute, a gesture that will soon become a symbol of a rebellion. Now, of course, this cannot come from nowhere, so you need to hint at this scene in the first half of your story through what is called a foreshadowing complication. A foreshadowing complication is a scene in the first half of your story where your protagonist encounters something that raises the stakes of their situation and hints at a threat that they don't yet understand. It's significant enough to unsettle them, and it's mysterious enough to leave unanswered. In Harry Potter, it's the moment Harry, Ron, and Hermione stumble upon Fluffy, a massive 3-headed dog guarding a trapdoor. They have no idea what it's protecting, it's unsettling, it's unexplained, and they won't understand what it means until much, much later. In the Hunger Games, it's the moment the game makers trigger a fire trap directed specifically at Katniss. For the first time, she realizes the Capitol isn't just casually watching a bunch of teenagers trying to survive, but actively controlling the games. She doesn't yet understand the full implications, but something much bigger than surviving the other tributes has just revealed itself. Alright, but hinting at the threat is obviously not enough. You need to have something in between, something more active to bridge the two. That's what we call the inciting discovery. Right, so the inciting discovery does two things. It kickstarts your second half, and it's the moment your protagonists connect the dots, linking what they encountered in the first half to the major fixation that's been brewing under the surface. This discovery can be literal, just as much as it can be an emotional realization or a worldview that's just starting to shift. The idea is that they don't have the full picture yet. That'll come with the major fixation epiphany, but they now understand that something bigger is at stake. In the Hunger Games, the inciting discovery is the moment Katniss wakes up and discovers that Rue, a fatal tribute, has been protecting her while she was unconscious. She survived because someone chose to help her, and that changes everything. Her real enemy was never the other tributes, it was always the Capitol. In Harry Potter, it's the moment Harry, Ron, and Hermione finally discover who Nicolas Flamel is, the only maker of the Philosopher's Stone. And just like that, something clicks. The three-headed dog was guarding the stone, and someone is after it. So the foreshadowing complication plants the seed, the inciting discovery starts connecting the dots, and the major fixation epiphany delivers the full picture. And together, the major fixation triangle is the reason your reader never sees the true threat coming. But the moment they do, they realize that your story was building to it all along. The inciting discovery, by the way, is one of 5 types of inciting incidents that your story needs to keep your readers hooked until the end. So watch this video next if you'd like to learn more about it.